When there's not a lot of sunshine in your day, you turn into Outlier TV to catch all the action for race number 5 at Nashville Super Speedway for the Roughneck Racing Wagoner's Welding Truck Series. So excited to be here tonight. Race number 5 underway. We're going to be going through a lot of cool stuff tonight. Last week's race at Chicagoland went caution free. Fuel Strategy won that one. Shout out to Dan Park for getting it done. And then the week before at Vegas, we saw another Fuel Strategy win. 100 laps tonight. And really, we're expecting the same level of excitement here. So 80% fuel in the trucks. We know it's about 45 laps, 104-degree track temp. I'm your host, Robert Warrens, alongside Chris Schusler. Chris, say hi to your friends. Hi, everybody. Oh, wait, Chris isn't here again. Chris is on a work function. We miss you, Chris. I'll be doing the best to give you all the action that you can handle tonight. So make sure you click like and subscribe on the broadcast. And then also click that gearbox in the bottom right-hand side to watch this in 4K. We're going to be bringing you all the sexy colors that iRacing can offer. So we got 25 trucks in the field tonight. Let's go ahead and start to look at some of these drivers as they're gridding up. Rolling through that. P1 tonight, Dalton Steele on the outside. Cole Barker in row 2. We got Ben Park and Straminski. Row 3, we got Parsons and Hurst. Row 4, we got Dan Park and Mr. Buttons. Row 5, we got Copperthorne and Ledford. Row 6, Sanchez and Warp. Row 7, Don Francesco and Feakin. Row 8, Minter and Overstreet. Row 9, Winningham and Wagner. Row 10, Schroeder and Foster. Row 11, Tolleson and Warnez. Row 12, Ramsey and Richardson. And the final car on the grid is Hogue. And they're already off green. Starting fast and furious. Steele on the bottom, getting a good start. With Bark on the outside of Ben Park. Parsons does a good job of firing off. Oh, wrecking in the back. Caution is out. And it looks like the 30 of James Wagner has suffered catastrophe. 0 fast repairs are very hard, for these truck drivers to suffer damage. We're going to go ahead and, in honor of Mr. Weenie Hat.
Hey, what happened?
Be figuring it out. Probably not going to see anyone come down pit lane. But let's go ahead and use our OTV instant replay. See the field coming through 1 and 2. And the 68 of Overstreet. It looks like he gets aero tight. And that's one thing that we're going to have to watch tonight. When you offset the truck, you see that red truck on the bottom. He gets in hard, and then he cuts down. But at the same time, when you cut down, you're getting a whole boatload of dirty air. So he's going to slide up and tag the 30 of Wagner. So it looks like, the truck in front of him being a little bit conservative, but he's got to manage that a little bit. Tough break for Wagner. It doesn't look like he suffered too much damage in that. A little tore up on the right front, so hopefully he's able to get squared away. So go back to live action. Backed up to our leader here. We still got another lap on under caution here, but that was a quick caution come out. Last week, no cautions, so unfortunately here, Nashville Superspeedway is a concrete surface track, and one of the challenging things with that concrete surface is grip. It's only one of 3 tracks on the NASCAR circuit, so you got Dover and you got Bristol Motor Speedway. So as these guys travel to a concrete surface, it's going to require a little bit more and different skill. So pop this up for 1 second. So Dalton Steele, the control car on this restart. Shout out to our viewers tonight. If you need an update on your driver, go ahead and put that in the chat. We got Mama Park in the chat, giving a shout out to Dan and Ben Park. So, last week Dan did win. He pulled off the fuel strat, rabbit out of the hat for the fuel strat. And shout out to my friends, TrackCams22, giving you all these beautiful camera angles. Gonna be looking at the gearbox view of Dalton Steele as he is a control car. So he's allowed to fire in the box. Pop to that view in a second. Enters the box there, and he's gone. Quick shifts by the 7 of Steel. Past champion. He won the Super Speedway Series on Monday nights for Season 9. And you can see he's already gone in lickety-split fashion. Rest of the field, I'm going to bunch it up a little bit. You got to settle in. Tire wear is going to be immense here. And Park on the bottom with Ben Ryan in behind. Hurst and Straminski battling it out for 7th and 8th. In behind him, the 05 of Sanchez. Barker about 4/10 back. So, like I said, about 45 laps to a tank of fuel here. We're expecting that these drivers are going to be able to go to about 47.50 almost the whole way. But knowing some of these crazy guys, you're probably going to see somebody maximize that fuel strat and, make it the whole way. So just something to be watching out for. A little bit further back in the field. Taking a look at topless Tim Richardson, currently 22nd. He's got 88, the only vegan in the field, or sorry, 18, the only vegan in the field. Blake Beacon on his outside. There's Ryan Warp. Taking a look at Charles Minter now, currently 18th. He's fell back a few spots. Some pressure on the 90 machine. Straminski and Hurst still duking it out. Straminski gets a little loose off the exit there. The arrow is going to be very tough in these trucks. 3 wide and 3 and 4. 01 of Ledford and Tolson touch. Back up front. Dalton Steele putting down some heaters with Barker and Ben Park in behind. And Ben Parson and Ben Ryan. A whole lot of Bennery in this race. A lot of Bennery. Lap 11 complete. Mr. Buttons, last season's champion in the Truck Series. Missed last week due to contraband charges. Wasn't able to make it across the border to Chicagoland. I'm not surprised. Those sticky Canadians with their wacky tobacco. Last week's winner, Dan Park Rose Racing. Beauty Patootie Hearse running 7th, doing a great job there. Sanchez, Copperthorne, shout out to Ipswich Bay Soap Co. Ledford, currently running where he started. Very stretched Tolson won the big money race on Friday night. Next Gen's at Michigan. People didn't think he were going to make it. But, you know, as he said in his interview, can't beat him, join him. And Nicholas Don Francesco, last season's winner in the Super Series. Bunch of last season's winners. I'm sure got a couple of them kerfuffled. Go ahead and pop up to our leader. Let's go and take a look at some of his onboard inputs. Nice and tight to that yellow line. Very smooth on the exit. It's going to be the man to watch tonight. We know Dalton Steele is able to put it together for these types of finishes where tire wear is substantial. So one of the things to consider, and we're going to switch it over here just for a second before we take a look at another driver. See Ben Park closing up the gap on Barker. But we're going to take a look at the best lap times. 33.1 for the first couple drivers, 33.2. Knowing that tire wear is a factor, take a look at the last lap times. 31.8, so into the 32s. You're looking already at like a 7 to 8/10 fall off in 20 laps. These guys got to stretch it out to 45 laps, which is going to be crazy. Ben Park starting to put some pressure on the 93 of Barker as they start lap 18. This is going to be the battle here that we're going to want to zoom into. Ben Park won his Monday night league race at North Wilkesboro, and I would say, like, as a comparator, North Wilkesboro, high tire wear, high challenging track. See Ben kind of working the opposite of that arrow as they go down the front stretch. It's going to be very hard to pass here. Drivers are going to have to make a mistake, slide up off the bottom, and you can see that Ben's got that run in that 20 machine on the inside of Barker. It's going to be able to slide up, complete the pass. Good job by the 20 machine to move up to that second spot. Take a look at our last fastest 5 cars to the 5 laps. Dalton Steele still heating it up. Eric Copperthorne in 8th, the furthest back with the fastest laps. Go ahead and check on Copperthorne. He's doing a good job. We've seen him in previous seasons be able to manage his tires and get up front over the long run. Oh no, yellow flag is out.
Hey, what happened?
What just happened? Nobody knows. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna put on this little thingamajiggy and use our OTV instant replay. We're on board with the 48 of Schroeder, Sanchez, and Olesen on the bottom. They're 3 wide going into turn 3. Not oh, it looks like Schroeder comes down on Tolson and shoots up the track. Play that at full speed. Wonder if we're gonna see drivers pit here. Go back to live action. That's a tough break for Sanchez. But oh yeah, everyone's coming in. Gonna go focus on our leader, Dalton Steele. As these drivers are coming down the pits, the tire fall off is so great. With only a few sets of tires, we're gonna see drivers bolt on tires here in hopes that it stays green. Right side's up. I'd be very surprised if we don't see a driver not take tires. We'll be able to tell by how they shuffle and exit the pits here. And it looks like we've got no dramatic movers. You know, somebody could elect to take 2, but I don't know about that. There's a baby monster. That's creepy, man. Taking a look at the only vegan in the field. The 18 baby monster. I don't know if he eats babies or what. Maybe if he makes it up the booth, we can ask Blake. What's up with that? Shout out to Wagoner's Welding series sponsor, making it possible for you to view Outlier TV alongside Precision Fence and Gates and Ipswich Bay Soap Co. New tires for all the drivers all the way around. Lights off on the pace vehicle. Looking through our pit stop stats, you can see everyone has taken tires. In the top 15 at least. So little mix up there with Tolson. He got doored. I don't think he got any damage. So hopefully, his aero platform's good and he's able to march forward. Memory of Chris Schuessler. That's a non-alcoholic beer. Staying alive for the viewers tonight. Getting ready to go green for our second restart of the night. The 7 is the control car. Restart zone in it and gone. Ben Park might be putting pressure on him as Ben, Ryan, and Barker battled for that 3rd and 4th spot. But the action's going to be a little bit further back in the field until these guys get settled down and get to the bottom of the track. Three wide in turn 3. Warren's sliding up the track on the 45 of Warp. Straminsky gets clear high. Definitely wants some of that clear real estate. Moving up front a little bit more. Got Hurst on the outside of Ben Parson with Dirty D. Don Francesco in behind him. Olsen on the outside of Copperthorne. There's the 0-1 of Ledford on the outside of Parson. Drivers settling in this long race, about to approach 1/3 of the race through. Going to move back up with our leaders. Dalton Steele has led every lap this race so far. Nobody else has taken that away from him. Ben Park now has clean air to the bumper of that 7 machine. It'll be going to be interesting to see if he's able to march forward, put some pressure on that 7 truck, and if he was able to make good adjustments during the pit stop to show that he's got that prowess to take the lead. Shout out to Johnny Hurst in the 58th, having a heck of a run tonight. Running the low and slow line. Ledford looking underneath. He's going to put pressure there. Hurst not giving up. And that's one of the things that you're going to see as the race progresses. It's going to be very hard to pass, especially when tires are even. But shout out to Barry Tolson, hardest charger, only a few trucks back. Currently riding in the 7th spot. Looking underneath the 24, a Big D, Don Francesco, with Ben Parson in behind. Oh, Don Francesco gets a little tight to the wall. Copperthorne and Warp duking it out for the 11th spot. Treminski, Warrens, and Foster in behind. Still a 3/10 gap, but Van Ryan marches to the 3rd spot, getting around Barker. It could be, you know, if I was a gambling man, we were going to Vegas, I put some money on one of these Benz. Because there's like 17 Benz in the 25 car truck field. And you can see Ben closing down the gap on Ben. 67 of Ryan closing down the gap on the 20 of Park. And running a tighter line in 3 and 4. He's going to get a run on the exit down the front stretch through the dogleg. Let's see how he does in 1 and 2 as they go in even to the corner. You got to watch that crossover from Park as that arrow can get another driver loose. Good pass there. Let's see. We'll check in shortly. Let's move back a couple spots. Going to look at the battle between Ledford and Tolson. Tolson just made it around. Ledford for that 6th spot. They're driving hard into turn 3, door to door. Olson's got the command on the spot down the backstretch. Apparently that was 1 and 2. Mediocre broadcasting. The grass looks the same in both corners as far as I'm concerned. And just a little bit further back, the battle's heating up with Beacon, Warp, Don Francesco, and Copperthorne all within a camera shot. Arrow is going to be a big challenge for these drivers to get runs. But as the race progresses, we're going to have to start to look at that fall off. So we talked about lap times before. We're going to go ahead and talk about them again because you love data just like I do. So we were talking about 31 twos, threes as a fast lap, and put that back up on the timing tower. 31 ones, twos, you can see them all there. Twos and threes is probably the average. Last lap time around, sixes and sevens. 31, 9, and 32 flat for Tolleson and Ledford. That's what happens when you're battling door to door. Down the backstretch from the cockpit. Let's go right in the cockpit of the 67 of Mr. Buttons. We saw Dalton Steele's line earlier. A little bit faster of a lap for Ryan last time around. But our fastest car on the track was actually the 90 machine of Dennis Warnez. Gotta be careful. You see sliding the nose of the 67. Let's go hop into another driver. We're going to hop into the 58 of Hurst, a few cars back. Great run for Hurst tonight. Currently sitting in that 5th spot. Same thing, low and slow on the exit of the corners. Nice and smooth into 3. 93 of Barker just in front of him. A little tight on the exit for Hurst. Go ahead and pop into someone else. So we'll pick on the 25 machine of Charles Minter. You can see how there's a lot more wheel input through the center and the exit. Minter getting tight on the exit. And he might have kissed the wall a little bit there. But this is where you see that variation between the drivers, where that truck doesn't have grip on the front tires. It is sliding up the track hard. It looks like Minter missed the adjustment in the pits. Definitely needs to use about 15% more brake. Checking on the last week's winner, Dan Parr, currently in 15th. You know he chilling. Nice and smooth. It's down to the bottom. Interesting enough, Ryan caught up to Steele, only 2 3/10 back. Gonna go up a little bit further. Checking out Dennis Warnez. No relation to that guy. If I was related to him, he'd be faster. But you can see just a big swarm of trucks. And this is where it's going to be hard to pass. And somebody with fresher tires is going to have to be smart to navigate through these trucks. You know, somebody can be fast for 10 or 15 laps, but the tire degradation at Nashville Super Speedway can make somebody cry. Gonna move up to Copperthorne now. They're trying to get a run on Warp and Don Francesco. In front there, it looks like it's a battle with Ledford and Parson. Parson sliding up the track tight a little bit. Ledford's going to get a good run down the backstretch into turn 3. Now these guys are racing hard with 55 laps to go. the only vegan, Blake Vegan, on the outside. They're 3 wide, 1 and 2. Oh! They're able to get squared away. The 18 gets the contact on the outside. I don't know if there's enough real estate to go 3 wide, but it happens anyways. All live on Outlier TV. Check your drawers, boys. Could be a sticky one back there. Now we got Copperthorne underneath the 01 of Ledford. Low and slow, the name of the game. That's a battle for 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, all within a blanket. And it looks like the 2 top positions, Steele and Ryan, have broken away from the field slightly. 7/10 the gap over 3rd spot. Not very big. Hurst has caught Barker. We're going to go to that battle. Right now. Voted the most sexiest man in Roughneck Racing, quite possibly the world if they knew about him. Johnny Hurst. Impressive run for him. Still battling out in behind for those other spots. So in 6th spot, right meow, Bear Tolson in his Unicorn Power. And then you can see that battle for just about everything else. So in behind him, the 33 of Ben Parson. In 8th, Don Francesco. 9th, Ryan Warp. 10th, Copperthorne. 11th, Straminsky. 12th, Warrens. And 13th, Park. So Ledford coming in the pit. He's doing the undercut. Oh, he missed the box. He's backing up there. That's not the Stuttering Stanley. That's not the game plan, brother. So having a good race up front. I'm going to take a look at the battle a little bit further back again. We got 3 cars. Olson, Parson, and Dom Francesco, all within a blanket. And looks like Straminsky got around Copperthorne, moving him into the top 10. So we'll have to start watching some of these lap times again as the run progresses. But we're coming up to like a weird pit strategy option. We know that a tank of fuel is about 45 laps. We're about to hit the fuel strategy where it opens up, but you know, anything can happen. We've seen some of these drivers struggle with tire wear already. So, I mean, it's going to be very interesting. Oh no, Ben Ryan falls back a second to the Man of Steel. He's in the wall on the outside. That ain't safe. Ooh, Ben Ryan coming in the pits. I don't know if that's going to cause Steel to have to chase it, or if there's a technical issue or a mechanical issue with the 67 Orion. It's going to move Ben Park into the 2nd spot. And looking at the data, he's about 0.2, a tenth and a half slower than our leader. Last time around, 93 at Barker, about a almost 3/4 of a tenth quicker than our leader, but sitting 2.5 back. Those 2.5 seconds going to be hard to regain. Johnny Hurst about a tenth and a half, 2/10 slower than our leader. Barry Tolson, woo, little brush of the wall for Ben Parson in that 33. Barry Tolson, a little quicker than our leader. Ben Parson gets a run under Tolson. These guys have been battling hard all night. Parson gets a little tight under Tolson, and he's not going to be able to beat him down the backstretch for that drag race. In behind those drivers, Mike Straminski running really fast laps. He's closing in on the trucks in front, and also was blistering speed, waiting for a duff date. Almost 3/10 quicker than the leader. So, I mean, looking at the trucks in front, you know, they're battling hard. Straminski and Warnes, the slower brother of Warnes Racing, are running faster laps. So they're definitely locked into a long game strategy with how they're battling the track surface. Up front, Don France, well, not that much further up front, but Don Francesco looking under the 33 of Ben Parson, and it looks like Ben Parson's handling starting to drift away. Oh, Don Francesco. I don't know if he tried to break the arrow there, if they got tight. Fresh tires coming up, the 67 of Ben Ryan. Making a run for it. And we're going to go check on our leader, Dalton Steele. 58 laps of solid leading and minimal competition. This is what champions are made of. You're probably wondering, hey, Outlier TV, why don't you tell us about the points? Okay, we can do that. Don't gotta yell at me. Only one guy here tonight. Looking at our points, right? Oh, that's our points, but it says top 3 finishers. I don't know. We gotta work on that. Mediocre broadcasting, but Barry Tolson currently winning the points with Dan Park in second. Dalton Steele third. This would definitely bolster him up. Fox not in the field. Hurst tied for 5th with the Vegan. And Ben Park in 7th with Don Francesco. So big shuffling in Shuffletown. Let's go ahead and take a look at our top 3 finishers so you can see how they're duking it out. Dan Park, fuel strategy last week. Tolson led most laps. Couldn't get her done. Fuel strategy. Steven Shu winning the race at Vegas. Another fuel strategy race with Dan Park in behind. You know, Park and Tolson peppering the top 3 finishes just about everywhere you can see. So you're going to have to see these drivers respond. You can see them ducking into the pits while we're rambling. So right now coming in the pits, that's a 7 adult Steele. In behind him, Hurst, Parson, Straminski. So this is where the saving is going to end. These guys are going to have to push a lot harder than what they did before. They got to stay to the right as they come down the pit lane and get a smooth entrance into their box. Everyone taking tires here. Ben Park is our new leader. Nice and smooth for these drivers. Got to get going as fast as you can. This is going to be the balance of where, you know, you don't really need to save it as much anymore. You don't have to go as far. Ben Park responds. He comes down the pits. Don Francesco still on the track. Dan Park currently in second spot. 1.5 back. Let's see if it's in the math. if he's catching the leader. So currently catching him, he's going to show about 7 laps, but this is where the trade-off occurs. Is like you're going to be pushed up to that second groove and lose time by having fresher tires pass you. And it's going to be very hard to pass here. So Don Francesco coming into the pits. Meow. Good entrance for him. I wonder if Dan Park's going to respond or if he's going to risk it for the biscuit to stay out longer. You're just skimming the chat really fast. No fast repairs for the truck series. So once drivers pooch it, they pooch it for good. And interesting enough, our new race leader, the 67, once he catches the 3 machine on the front stretch, will be the 6'7" of Mr. Buttons, Ben Ryan. He's got about a 10-12 second gap over the 7 Adult Steel. Strategy prevails. Once we hit maximum fall off, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Dan Park coming out of the pits. Meow. Shuffles him back. So it's going to be very interesting. Checking on some of the cars in behind. Straminsky running 12th, right? Meow. In front of him, 11th is Ledford, and you can see Straminsky coming in the camera shot. You're going to be able to march up. In 10th, Dennis Warnes. Copperthorne in 9th. Parsons 8th. Polison 7th. Hurst in 6th. 5th is Ben Park. And 4th is Ryan Warp. 3rd is Barker. 2nd is Steele. And the guy making the moves right now, last season's champ, Ben Ryan. But let's really talk about why we're seeing the shuffle in the standings. And we're going to pull up our pit stop stats. See that Ben Ryan has pitted 8 laps earlier than Steele and Barker. He's on par with Warp. 11 laps more than Park. Hurst. Like, they're all in a similar window. So is the 67 going to be able to hold on to the lead? You see that Steele has closed the gap there. He's only just over 4 seconds behind. I mean, time will tell. 32 laps left for race number 5 at Nashville Super Speedway for the Wagoner's Welding Truck Series, sponsored by Ipswich Race Soap Coat and Precision Fence and Gates. So this one's, heating up. We had 2 cautions so far, 2 restarts on the night, and 5 lead changes. So, I mean, once tire fall off occurs, these guys are going to flatline. But let's go ahead and take a look at the data. That's why you guys tune into Outlier TV. So that's what we got. We got the data. And it looks based on pace. We don't know if the 67's saving, but the catch is showing in about 7 to 8 laps that Steele should be on the bumper of Ryan. Got to do something, and he did it. So let's see how it works out for that 67 machine. Take a look at some of the battles around the track. Jumping around. Let's go to Copperthorne and Warnes. Just a little bit over a 10th separates them. Warp and Tolson, another battle on the track. Tolson just gets around Warp on the exit of 2. down the backstretch, and that's the tire strategy prevailing there. Beacon and Minter. Let's go over here. Oh, Minter sideways just as we tune in. That's definitely an aero slide. Minter might fall victim to Ramsey. He's sliding. You can see that wheel input says, no thank you, no more, please. Please stop turning that truck so much. Slow it down. Warrens gets underneath Copperthorne for the 9th spot. And it looks like Warp falling further and further back. As you can see, Warrens and Copperthorne starting to pull him in. Take a look at our last lap times around. We got 27 laps to go. That's a lot of time, but also a lot of wear for the tires. So that's one thing we really need to consider here. You can see Ben Ryan 32.3s, about 0.5 quicker for Steele. Barker 31.7. Throughout the field there, we see a 32 flat for Hurst in 5th. Copperthorne and Warren 31 8s and 9s. Straminsky in the pace of Copperthorne and Warren. So Don Francesco running pretty quick in behind. So I mean, it still is early. If we get another caution, anything can happen. Gonna see some tough battling, that's for sure. Warp, no contest. Steele on the bumper of Ben Ryan. "25 laps to go is a long time." Steele's got to run down the backstretch. He's going to be taking the lead away from that 67, unless the 67's got some juiced up tires that we didn't know about. Steele does a good job of making the pass as quick as he can. Straminsky gets around Warp down the front stretch. He's going to have the run going into turn 1. That's going to move Straminsky into the 10th spot. We're pretty spread out in amongst the top 10. Go ahead and pop on Ben Park. Take a look at him. Cool cat, you know. Yeah. Got a cat about to jump on my lap. Almost had a non-alcoholic beer. Night's tough. Times we have to gather our thoughts before we speak again. LRTV, I'm Robert Warren, your mediocre broadcaster. Miss you, Chris. Don't know where you are in the ultimatum. Let me check my messages. He didn't respond. He's either missing or he's doing something bad. I don't know. Go ahead and swap it over. Let's maybe take a look at Ben Park's inputs here. He's quicker than our leader, but I mean, by virtue of what we've seen, we know that these guys have enough to make the distance. "21 laps to go." There's a battle in front there. That's between Barker and Ryan. Let's go up there, check it out. Minter in the 3rd lane. Barker looking to the outside of Ryan. Got my cat Max Verstappen here. Barker makes a clean pass. No contest from the 67 machine. Straminski clears Copperthorne for the 9th spot. But you can see Don Francesco moving into the frames on Copperthorne. Sometimes you got to turn on the jets, you know, get them going. Copperthorne loses another spot to last season's Super Speedway champion, Don Francesco. Looking at the pit stop stats, just so we get an idea. A lot of the drivers in a similar bracket being around pitting 21, 22 laps ago. Oldest tires up front in the 3rd spot is, well, now the 4th spot is the 67 of Ben Ryan. Everyone else very similar. Let's go ahead and see who our fastest drivers are for the last 5. Looks like Don Francesco in the 10th spot is one that's cooking. Barry Tolson on the board. Ben Park in 3rd. Dalton Steele turns on the Jets, our leader. We're bouncing around all 32 ones as a 5-lap average. Interesting enough. Let's go ahead to Barry Tolson now. Barry Tolson showing as our biggest gainer for the night. Currently in the 5th spot. Very stretched Tolson. Impressed the field Friday night, grabbing the win. The next gen's at Michigan for the R&R league battles, bringing the coalition of leagues together to duke it out. So great job by Barry Tolson stealing the cash from the show on Fuel Strat. Straminski closing up the gap on Warnes a little bit. Hurst a little bit on Tolson. So 15 laps to go. You know, we could see some more shuffling throughout the field. Now, we haven't checked in on him a little bit. Let's go ahead and check in on Topless Tim. Known for swooning the ladies at the beach shirtless. He's on pace with our leader, turning, you know, about a little bit about a tenth slower than the leader, but a good run for Richardson, currently in the 14th spot. Getting her done. Dan Park, same pace as the leader. Copperthorne a little bit ahead. He's starting to struggle a little bit, 2/10 slower than the leader. Don Francesco in behind Straminski and Warnes. Beacon gone a lap down. It's going to be a tough battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th, all in the camera shot. Still lots of time left. Don Francesco running the high side. Gonna get tight up there. He might get a run down the front stretch. Straminski closes the door there. He's running the high side and chopping down. Got the draft of Warnes down the back stretch. Truck's gonna get arrow tight. Warnes hugging the bottom as those two trucks in behind him battle it out. Don Francesco is gonna be successful at making the pass here, putting Straminski in the 10th spot. Another battle we got kind of heating up is Ben Park looking underneath Barker. He's about 2/10 back. Barker might have hit the wall of tire degradation. Oh, Barker hit the wall. Watch out. That 93 machine getting tight. Let's hop in his cockpit and see what it do. Ten laps to go. Trying to salvage his podium finish. He shouldn't have an issue. But Ben Park in behind him. Impressive performance. Newcomer to Roughneck Racing, the Wagoner's Welding Truck Series, sponsored by Ipswich Bay Soap Co. and Precision Fence and Gates. And we got a battle. Don Francesco gets around Warren's. And Warren's battling back. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. As they're duking it out. Warren's on the outside with Straminski in behind. The Big D showing his Big D energy in that 24 machine on the bottom with 8 laps to go. 8 laps to go because it counts when the leader crosses the line. Straminski might be able to snag a spot or two. And he's looking underneath the 90 of Warnez into 3. The tires are all screaming at every driver, but the man of the night, the 7, Dalton Steele, is running where he started and has the last lap led, obviously, as a comparator, and has led 78 laps of the race tonight. So we saw the 67 of Ben Ryan take some laps away from him. However, that strategy did not pay dividends. Ryan in the 6-7 is in 5th spot. Tolson in 4th. Park 3rd. Barker in 2nd. So we're going to go back to the battle for 2nd spot. Only 2 seconds is the gap. So, I mean, Steele's still going to have to hit his marks. Regardless, Steele can't make a mistake. So, interesting battle here between Warrens and Straminski. And also Hurst and Parson. So, going back over there. Hurst running the lower side. Parson up in the 2nd groove. I don't know if you want to be in that 2nd groove. Parson taking away the air off the nose of the 58. And you can see just in the camera shot back, Straminski under Warrens for the 9th spot, and Don Francesco running the 2nd groove. 2nd groove does allow you to get a run, but that's not going to be good enough for the 90 machine of Warrens, falling victim to the 16. Those fat fingies punched a hole where the sun don't shine. Straminski might have a little bit more tire than the 24 Don Francesco, but we're going to go ahead and bounce around. Look again at the battle between Hurst and Parson, that 6th spot. Hurst not able to close the gap. Straminski sitting about 2/10 back of Don Francesco. But our leader, no pressure in sight, Dalton Steele, the man of the evening. Whenever we come to these tire degradation facilities, the tire chewers, Dalton Steele shows he knows how to get her done. 2 laps to go. 1 when we cross the line. Barker still a little bit of gap on Park. Race is official. You're going to wreck him now. Make sure it counts. $84 laps, 85 when he crosses the line. Race winner just has to get it out of turn 4. Down the front stretch. Your winner, Dalton Steele. P2, Barker, Park, Olison. 5th, Ryan. 6th, Hurst. 7th, Hurst. Don Francesco, 8th. Straminsky, 9th. 10th is Warnez. Gonna take a quick Wagner's Welding break and then do some driver interviews. That's always exciting. Hear what these guys have to say. We'll be back in a momento.
At Wagoner's Welding, craftsmanship isn't just what we do, it's who we are. For over 25 years, Wagoner's Welding has been a family-owned business built on honesty, hard work, and treating every customer like family. Whether it's custom truck beds or ramps, heavy-duty fabrication, hydraulics, or precision repair work, every weld and every detail is crafted for strength, reliability, and long-lasting performance. We don't cut corners. We build quality that lasts because your truck needs to work as hard as you do. When you want value, craftsmanship, and custom work done right the first time, choose the team that treats you like family. Visit Wagoner's Welding at 446 DeHart Church Road in North Wilkesboro or call 336-670-3427 to see how we can get your job working for you. At Wagoner's Welding, craftsmanship isn't just what we do, it's who we are. For over 25 years, Wagoner's Welding has been a family-owned business built on honesty, hard work, and treating every customer like family. Whether it's custom truck beds or ramps, heavy-duty fabrication, hydraulics, or precision repair work, every weld and every detail is crafted for strength, reliability, and long-lasting performance. We don't cut corners. We build quality that lasts because your truck needs to work as hard as you do. When you want value, craftsmanship, and custom work done right the first time, choose the team that treats you like family. Visit Wagoner's Welding at 446 DeHart Church Road in North Wilkesboro or call 336-670-3427 to see how we can get your job working for you. At Wagoner's
Once again, shout out to Wagner's Welding Series, sponsor of Roughneck Racing for Season 10. Saw race number 5 tonight. I believe it was 2 cautions and a whole lot of battling. But let's go ahead and see what drivers have prevailed through the tech shed. Heard it's a rigorous process. These guys been cheating up carburetors, running too much left side weight, and all the jazz. We're going to bring in our 3rd place finisher first is the 20 machine, Ben Park. Ben, Rob up in the booth. How you feeling about the P3 tonight, sir?
It's a solid run. I wish I could have gotten better, but Chris and Dalton were really strong. Ben Ryan was really strong in the first run. I think he pit too soon.
Yeah, definitely, upset the apple cart with some of the strategy. But, when you're trying for something, you got to try everything. I mean, you ran up front all night. I think you showed that you had led a lap just through cycling through pit strategy. But, what was holding you back from maybe getting you up a little bit further?
Yeah, Dalton was just too good.
Dr. Dalton.
Yeah, he was pretty strong.
Yeah, well,
I couldn't get by him.
I mean, overall,
I fell off on the long run, so.
Yeah, definitely managing your tires here is a challenge in itself. But I mean, 3rd place finish, you got to be pretty happy overall. Just how was the truck handling for you? Did you find it tight or loose over the long run? Did you feel like you had to manage entry or exit more than another?
I was definitely slow on entry, but using up the right front for sure. It got really tight on exit. A few times I almost hit the wall.
Yeah, I think everybody was struggling with that right front burning up and whatnot. So I believe next week we have a week off, and then we're headed over to Lime Rock, if I'm not mistaken. What are your thoughts on Lime Rock?
Not particularly a road racer, but I always seem to do decent at them. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely log some laps and get it done. I mean, it's been impressive watching you in the Roughneck Racing Wagoner's Welding truck series here. So you fit in quite well. You're running with good speed, so you got to feel happy about that. And who the heck do you want to give a shout out to for your Ipswich Bay third place finish tonight?
I want to shout out my mom, my girlfriend watching at home, my brother for bringing me in. You got to shout you out for putting on the broadcast. It's about time you interviewed me. For real.
Yeah, well, you got to keep working harder if you want an interview, am I right?
I guess so. And I got to shout out Michael Steele and Steele Graphics and Designs for making me look the best on the track at least every week.
Yeah, I mean, car looks great. I think on was it the Monday night series you got precision setups on that?
Yeah, but I'm not really affiliated with Precision much anymore.
Okay, that's cool. Just asking because I'm nosy. But yeah, no, Steel likes makes great paint, so nice to see you rocking the Steel design and graphics on that. And all the best to you at Lime Rock. I guess it is next week. We don't have a week off. And yeah, get her done, buddy. Good run tonight.
Yep. Thank you.
Right, that was our third place finisher, Ben Park. I thinking we're gonna hear a similar story from our second place finisher when we bring him in, and he had a good run overall, had awesome race pace. Chris Barker, Rob up in the booth. How you feeling about P2 tonight, buddy?
Man, P2 Monday, P2 Wednesday. I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, some might call you the bridesmaid. How would
Yeah, that's all right.
I mean that everyone's searching for an infinite nickname, and that you keep showing up in second, man. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I'll make sure and let somebody buy it next time.
Yeah, I mean you ran up in the top 5 all night, so you definitely were able to manage your equipment on the long run, which was nice to see. In the closing laps there, did you feel any pressure from that 20 truck?
All of it, man. When I got done, my shoulders, my neck, everything was just so tense. I was trying not to white knuckle it. I'm like, just trust, don't overdrive. Like he was running in deep, but it seemed like I was getting a little better run, here and there. We was kind of swapping laps back and forth, but I just had to trust, let off early, just calm down. If he catches you, it is what it is, I was kind of surprised on that first run there, man. I eat shit. I just could not. My line was terrible. I was falling back, and then I finally figured out something, and I feel like I was burning my stuff up. I was so surprised that I was able to get back to second there before the pit stop. But yeah, it was a good race, man. I finally had some decent pit stops. I usually end up doing something stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it's always interesting, and what I find is when you're on the track and you're around other drivers, you kind of learn a thing or two about a thing or two, and you see what other people are doing. You're able to apply it, so it's nice to see that you're able to adapt and get it to your.
I'm getting there. That's probably my biggest weakness. If it's like a ton of grip and you do the same thing every lap, I'm pretty good. But when the line changes constantly, I definitely suffer.
So did you have
it's
to?
nice to get it figured.
Did you feel you had to move around to find grip like the bottom
there
rubber
later, Dalton told me he was kind of running the middle and going in, but I was like letting out kind of earlier, but like staying on the wall and really arcing it and just trying to really catch that late apex. And that's when I started kind of clawing back some time.
Well, you definitely figured it out. You finished second tonight. We're headed to Lime Rock next week. Classic version. I don't even know if I own the track, to be honest, but I guess we'll figure it out. What are your thoughts on running there?
I'm more of a road course guy, honestly. We'll see. I don't really like that track with the trucks, man. I've been struggling a little bit practicing, but we'll see how it goes. I expect a podium, but I try not to go without any expectations, so you don't get disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, you were pretty dominant in the foothills, sessions that the enduro races that you guys had. So,
Yeah.
uh, now that my 45-year-old memory remembers,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting to see you duke it out there because often the roughneck racing uh, for the Wagner's welding trucks doesn't really go to a lot of road courses, and it's always kind of like a dark horse shines in the field. So you think you're going to be the dark horse? Like what's going on?
Probably not. I don't know if I've lost a road course race in roughneck in the trucks, but
Ooh,
yeah, hey, they some aliens out there. Trust me, I've had my ass kicked plenty at going in the trucks and officials, so I'm sure. I've been looking at some lap times. They some fast guys.
yeah. Well, I mean, interesting to see. So I'm looking forward to next week. Now that I understand that I might have to buy a track, I might have to take out a second mortgage. iRacing is getting more expensive, but uh,
Yeah.
you're the Ipswich Bay Soap Co. second place finisher tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to for your finish?
Once again, got to thank the league, man. They really do have something special. Thank you again. You do an awesome job. Shout out to Wagner's Welding, Precision Fence and Gates, and Ipswich Bay Soap Company. I wrote them down, so
Yeah, you don't want to get in trouble with the sponsors, man. Like that's a bad
nah, man.
deal.
They deserve it, man. To these guys putting up money for us to do this, it's awesome.
And
Shout out to the wife and kids too, man. They let a grown man play on this game probably more than I should. But
it was in our earlier stages. I forget. I think in season 9, and Chris and I were broadcasting. He was butchering Wagner's Welding. Uh, you can't do that, man. You can't. But
yeah.
impressive finish for you tonight, Chris. It's nice to see you run well back to back second place finishes, and wishing you all the best in the Wednesday night race. And then we're back live again the following Monday. So, you're definitely
Awesome.
running well, and good luck, man.
All right, thanks, Robert.
Buddy. All right, it's time to bring in our winner tonight. I know you've all been waiting to talk to him. I have to. The Man of Steel, Superman Dalton Steele. He's gonna be giving you the deets from the Precision Fence and Gates winner circle. Dalton, Rob up in the booth. Impressive run tonight. If you didn't see an undercut strategy and pit cycles, you probably would have led every lap. What's your secret, man? What do you do at these tracks that other people can't do? Tell me everything.
That's a trade secret. I can't do that. I love concrete tracks. This track, Dover, Bristol, love them. So many people have trouble saving tires in concrete. I love it. I figured out a good way to do it, and it just works. I mean, I don't really know how to explain it. I guess I can understand. I understand what the car wants to do, and I can feel when my right front's starting to get hot. I can feel when it's rubbing, and I just can back up the corners after a certain amount of time. Just I don't know. It's like telepathic with my tires.
Yeah, I mean, I agree completely. Like these high wear tracks like a Bristol, a Dover, or even like Nashville Super Speedway, they command a different attention out of you than, like a Kansas or like Vegas or
Oh yeah.
whatnot. So it's nice to see you get it done. Just overall, like, was the truck tight for you, neutral? I noticed that some of the other drivers were turning to see Jesus and sliding up the wall, but overall, how'd the truck feel for you?
In the first 20 laps, it was pretty even. The truck felt nice. After about 20-25 laps, I started backing up the corner because it would start pushing up the track. So I started backing up, entering middle, exiting low, getting a run off the corner. I also kind of wanted to do that with the long straightaways here and the sweeping front stretch. People can get good runs on you in your drafts. So I wanted to attempt to do that so that way people who enter like the normal racing line doesn't have the same RPMs as me coming off the corner, and then they don't get the jump on me going into the next corner. So that was kind of my plan of action if if somebody was close to me. And just kind of rode around for a little bit, and then if I got to a position where I had to defend or pass in a lap car and had to enter low, I would enter low, brake early, blip the throttle, get the rear end upset, and counter steer out of it all the way up through the exit, and that's how I get past those lap cars pretty quick. They were taking up my backed up corner line.
Yep. And I guess one of the things to consider too is just that with that lap traffic, and we saw the green flag pit stops, we saw the undercut, even that first caution where everyone came down in around lap 20 or so. Did you think anyone was going to be crazy and not take tires and do something wild? Did that cross your mind at all?
Well, when I came down pit road, I still had about 10 laps of fuel left. So I kind of figured that if somebody would take it to 70, get 2 tires, get an 8-second jump on that, it would have to be somebody who was within like 3 seconds of me to afford that, to make it work. So I wasn't too worried about it. But if like Ben Park or one of those guys that were right behind me would have done it, then it would have been a lot closer. But I just don't know how the 2 tires do. Normally 2 tires don't do very good on concrete.
No, I do agree with you. And even like the undercut and whatnot, we saw Ben go in, you stayed out, and Park kind of followed, your strategy. So you're kind of matching. What I saw was like strategy similar to them because you did have the gap. But if a caution came out late, this is the last question. I'll ask you. If you saw a caution 10 to go, would you have felt confident still winning the race?
If I would have came down pit road and got 4 tires, as long as somebody didn't undercut and get 2 tires and put me about 2-3 rows deep, I would have felt pretty confident. But if that would have happened, it would have buried me in traffic. Then, that would have been lights out.
Lights out is right. I mean, next week we're going to Lime Rock Classic. What are your thoughts on the lime and the rock?
I don't like lime, and sometimes I used to eat rocks when I was a little kid, but I actually have to work that day, so I won't be
Ooh.
racing next week. So that's going to be one of my drops. But as far as road courses, not really a fan of them, but I can usually pull out a top 5.
All right. Well, I mean, race number 6, using a drop isn't a bad thing. You're sitting well on the points, strong as we approach halfway to the season. Like I said, you're the Precision Fencing Gates winner tonight. So who do you want to give a shout out to for your, I guess, dominating finish?
Precision. I would like to give a shout out to them, Mike, helping us out with that. Wagner's Welding, and then the paint scheme on my truck. I don't know if you noticed it or not, but it's Friends of Jacqueline Foundation.
Oh, cool.
They help raise awareness for childhood cancers and pediatric brain tumors and stuff like that. So probably be nice to go check them out. It's a really good foundation. All proceeds go to help funding the cure for that. None of it's pocketed. It's not backdoored, not shady, anything like that. So, and for Tim for putting this on every week, and even though through his ups and downs, he still stays strong and makes sure everybody has a fun time.
Yeah, he definitely is a positive spirit, that topless Tim. He even finished 14th tonight, which is a positive finish for him too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, Dalton, Superman, Man of Steel, congrats to you on the win tonight. Once again, shout out to the Friends of Jacqueline. Nice to see that on the truck. You can see that rolling around the broadcast now. And, all the best of luck as the season progresses. And, hope to be speaking to you again soon.
I hope so too. Thank you.
I see you, buddy.
See you.
All right, race winner Dalton Steele. Shouting out to Friends of Jacqueline. Cool. Definitely check that out. But also check out our sponsors, Ipswich Bay Soap Co. Definitely, as I said it might have been Monday. If your relationships are stinky, they don't have to be. So definitely have soap that could clean them up. If you don't like your neighbors, build the fence. Call Precision Fencing Gates. I'm going to build another fence to keep my neighbors away from me or move. And always a shout out to Wagner's Welding being a proud Season 10 sponsor for the Truck Series and the Super Speedway Series, making it possible for you to view everything to do with Outlier TV for the series. Let's roll through some stats for the race, and then we'll be signing off. Definitely a lot of numbers to roll through, so let's take a look at that. Most laps led, no surprise there. 84 of 100 for the man of steel, Dalton Steele. Chris Barker grabs that second spot. We saw, an impressive run for him overall, grabbing the fast lap of the night. 31-1-2. Ben Park, Misfits Racing, 2 seconds back. Definitely made Barker sweat it out at the end. Hard Charger goes out to Barry Tolleson, finishing in the 4th spot. So good race for Barry Stretch Tolleson as the points battle's heating up here. 6 different lead changes with 6 different leaders, 2 cautions tonight. Ben Ryan finishes 5th. Ben Parsons 6th. That's crazy. That's 4 Bens in a row. Let's take a moment to think about that. It's a lot of benning. Don't ben around. 7th goes out to Johnny Hurst. 8th, Don Francesco. 9th, Straminsky. 10th, Warren. So, great run for all the drivers in the top 10 overall. An impressive run for the league. This is a very challenging track. We'll be off Monday night for the Super Speedway Series. They're going to be taking a week off, so you can take the Monday off too. Don't worry. We'll flash that meow. But August 10th, we'll be back live for race number 6 at Echo Park in the ARCA car. But next Wednesday, we'll be live again for 40 laps at Lidenbrock, where the points championship is definitely heating up in the Truck Series. That's going to mark halfway through the season, and really big stuff is on the line. After race 6 there, you can see August 19th, we're going to have a week off, but then we're coming back for race number 7, Trucks at Talladega, for $100 to win. So not only is there championship accolades, there's race 7 accolades that winds up with cold hard cash in your empty pocket. And, once again, shout out to Wagoner's Welding, Ipswich Base Opco, and Precision Fence Gates for making it possible for these drivers to have a great place to duke it out. I'm Robert Warrens, host of Outlier TV tonight. Miss my best buddy, Chris Schuessler. Make sure you like, subscribe, tune in for more Outlier TV. Wishing you the best. Have a good night, everyone.